So I was just doing my thing today, and I get an alert from What Culture. And if you're not familiar with What Culture, they've got like four different channels: gaming, comics, What Culture itself, and whatever the fuck the other one is. So here's the big news that dropped. In the past, I guess, 14 hours, the internet's been talking about this, and I completely missed it. Me being a Tarantino fan, I'm actually really surprised. But Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt among star names linked to story of brutal hippie cult killings of Sharon Tate and friends. Quentin Tarantino to make Manson murders film. Quentin Tarantino is developing a film about the Manson family murders. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the Pulp Fiction and Hateful Eight director will write and direct the as yet untitled film, which concerns the notorious killings of five people, including pregnant actor Sharon Tate, wife of director Roman Polanski, carried out by the followers of Charles Manson in 1969. Manson and four followers later received life imprisonment, and his group were also responsible for a number of other killings during the 1960s. Details on the plot of the film remain unknown, but Deadline reports that Margot Robbie has been approached to play Tate, while the Hollywood Reporter suggests that Jennifer Lawrence is also being considered for the part. Brad Pitt and Samuel L. Jackson are being linked with roles in the film, which will begin shooting next year. The Manson family murders became headline news around the world and were seen as symbolic of the disorder and violence in the 1960s, as well as the demise of the hippie movement. In recent years, the Manson family has again become a source of public fascination. The popular podcast You Must Remember This devoted an entire series to Manson and his entourage. While the story of the killings has been depicted in Emma Cline's novel The Girls and the TV series Aquarius, Tarantino's last film, the violent western The Hateful Eight, was released in January 2016. Despite an all-star cast that included Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason, and Samuel L. Jackson, the film performed disappointingly at the box office. Figures. But let's talk about a few things right quick. There has been more takes on the Manson murders than any other murders. We've seen maybe two films of Henry Lee Lucas. We've seen probably three or four films of Ted Bundy. And we've probably seen three plus on Jeffrey Dahmer. But Charles Manson and his cult following are actually like the biggest that we have seen, from Lifetime movies to a television movie that actually came out years ago, which is still my favorite Manson movie to this day, Helter Skelter. If you have not seen it, you can probably find it on YouTube. I would recommend getting it on DVD through Netflix because it is not on your TV or your internet Netflix. You would have to get the solid DVD. Helter Skelter is through the eyes, instead of Manson, through the recent woman who was actually, I forget her name, but she was brought in through Manson, and she was invited into the cult, and she was the last one to be invited. And it's everything that Manson had done, from her perspective, and her being there for the murders, etc., so on and so forth. This woman was actually, when she testified against Manson, she was offered immunity, and she actually was shipped out to the state of New Hampshire. So it was a big story out in New Hampshire, in the small town that she moved to. Point is, that is the best one that I'd seen. It was a TV adaptation. So to keep that in mind, Tarantino, being the brilliant mind that he is, taking on a film like this, raises the stakes and could quite possibly make it to where we don't have to see another B level, C level, D level Manson movie film ever again. Because once this is done, they get to cease. Thank fuck for that. We can bring originality back to TV, back to Netflix, back to theaters. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful. I look forward to that part of it. However, hearing that Jennifer Lawrence, a couple of things, had been confirmed and now is not confirmed. Um, I personally think that they should bring out the psycho in Jennifer Lawrence and have her be one of Manson's cult followers. And for Brad Pitt to be playing Charles Manson, which seems to be confirmed, and Samuel L. Jackson's going to be in the movie, I'll bet you he'll probably end up doing the narrations. I can't quite figure out where Jackson would be, unless they make him a detective trying to seek out Manson. Because if Tarantino does it this way, it's not going to be through the eyes of just one person like it's been portrayed in all the other films, but it'll be through everyone's perspective. This is a game changer. his first biopic. It'll be his first time tackling real life stories without the fictional twist to it. Now we finally get to see him out of his element one more time, much like with Hateful Eight. And even with Inglorious Bastards was pretty original too. So to put that on his resume, he got what he wanted. Years back, he was talking about doing a horror film. Now he's saying, I'm not going to do just a horror film, but one of the most horrifying things. The only thing better than him doing this would be doing a movie on Zodiac. Problem is, the movie Zodiac with Jake Gyllenhaal and Robert Downey Jr. was perfect. That is the epitome of a perfect film. And Tarantino has not done a bad film. Jackie Brown's still not my favorite, but it's okay. Anyways, Tarantino taking on this project at the helm of it. 2018 it starts to shoot, so good news, we don't have to worry about a screenplay leak because it's going to be pretty much a Manson family thing, so there's not going to be that kind of like what's in the screenplay or what's in the writing, but what we're going to see on the screen and not on paper. Fuck yes, Tarantino. Way to go, Brad Pitt. Bring Jennifer Lawrence in for one of the Psycho fucking cult members. And as far as Margot Robbie, meh. Like, let's see. But, anyways, that's the news for today. I had to report on this because that is a giant elephant in the room. My name is Sid Jones, and fuck what you think.